How's it going, everybody? I'm just gonna be playing some lo-fi. This one, all of it should be fine. I've checked it before. So, we're at the point where the maps are starting to get a little more complicated. On how, like, everything that goes into making a map for Polytopia. At least in a way to ease the player into a position where they're not in really, really bad pressure. But they still have an obstacle to overcome. And to let them experiment with new mechanics in a way that supports upon the ideas. Every single time we make a new campaign mission, every single mission should also be building up upon the old mechanics in some way, shape, or form. Some of them will have, like, maybe a lot of sea to go, hey, you're going to want to use the water a lot, you know, focus on that, or, you know, whatever the heck. If we... Where is it? Switch over to this. I'm not going to be changing the icon of whatever tribe actually is. You know, I'm not going to be changing, you know, the tribe on that. This is just a single screenshot to be going over what mechanics we currently have unlocked for the player, as well as, you know, trying to pre-plan what we're going to be doing next. Now, if we switch back to Polytopia. Now, all these maps are not perfect, and there actually is a chance that as we develop things, we might be making adjustments, especially since the last, the 6th map I made. Give me a moment. I actually want to do something really fast. We're gonna... Wait a second. Wait a minute. Oh, we're just gonna put that there. Okay, we're good. So, we go to the maps. We actually can see that I've got 6 maps made. First one, I'm just going to do a brief overview of all these. I probably don't need this island. This is more of a failsafe in case for some reason we have to always have a second tribe on the map in order for there to be, you know, win conditions or whatever. But this map is very simple. They need to go over to this village and then get this village to level 3. If I had full control over everything, I would be making this a level 3 village, starting it off with -2 population, so that way they can eat these 2 and bring it up to, you know, full star production. Because they don't really need stars on this. All they got to do is just send the warrior over here, capture this, and then 10 stars. They got it. Very, very simplified map. It's just to allow the player to move unit around without threat of immediately being killed by, like, double riders. So that way they get to move around. This map, again, we're just rebuilding on the idea of learning how to expand and level up your cities, as well as this is the first map where you get access to the technology tree, and you have to research organization in order to get a level 3 city. The objectives of this map is get 4 cities, get 1 city to level 3. This one is the first time where you actually need to do some combat. This is to show how climbing works, that you get extra vision. Starting all the way over here, they have to wrap around. So this one is insanely linear. Notice a lot of these maps, they start off linear, but as we progress through everything, the maps are definitely going to be opening up with a lot more possibilities. Right here, this rune will be giving mining, so that way they can level this city up. These 2 should both be giving swordsmen, because the idea is we want the player to have a very simplified and controlled way of absolutely destroying Omaji. Now, Omaji, again, if it's something I could control, which I unfortunately can't, I would want them only training riders here. And these 2 veteran swordsmen are more than enough to absolutely win here. If for some reason the game drags on a very, very long time, they should be able to get a giant in one of these other cities, and that's how they can learn how climbing works for exploring, how the lighthouse works, and how to do some basic fighting. Omaji is the next one. Notice this is the first one where things really begin to open up, where the player starts over here. Since writing is complicated and it actually confuses a lot of people about where riders can go, our first rider can go straight to this ruin. I forgot what I want this ruin to give. I think an explorer is what I intend this ruin to give, which would be able to explore everything here. That allows the player to use their riders really, really fast, because notice all of this is just really wide open. With that, they can move on over to here. They can get the sailing tech to play around with it and try to get a veteran swordsman back here. But overall, with the production of 1, 2, 3, and 4 cities, they can absolutely destroy Kiku with their riders and have plenty of time to learn essentially what riders can or can't do, such as they can't run through mountains, they can't run through trees, so on and so forth. Kiku is the next one. Notice there's a little bit of a pattern. You're fighting the one that you're going to be going against, just so that way you have a slight observation about what they kind of do. Kiku, of course, we start off with fishing. This map is intentionally made so that way the player has to, you know, get use their boats. So we've got this big giant canal right here. I would not even call this a river. This is definitely a canal because of the giant mountain overpass. So even if Yadak here tries to build bridges, it's not really going to be doing too much. But we're also very, very careful. So like a bridge technically can go here, a bridge technically can go here. Look, if Yadak's building bridges all the way over to your capital at this point, I don't know, but you've got boats. This ruin here is intended to give think stars? Yeah, this ruin here is intended to give stars, so that way the player can place down a port a lot easier if they didn't already. And we also got enough population here, so that way they can do a border growth. And this is also one of the first maps where they can potentially start getting some monuments, like the Explorer Monument. The Explorer Monument is going to be tricky to acquire, but if they get the sailboats all the way over here, put it onto this tile, even though the objective is to take this capital, they can technically get this monument here. If the player chooses to level up a city and get an Explorer, that is another chance of them to be able to get to this lighthouse all the way up over here. Notice, we really can't get this over here unless we pick up sailing, so that player is going to be grabbing that, right? Wrong. In order to grab sailing, they must pick up this ruin, because for this campaign, we're assuming that we're allowed to lock away technologies to limit what can be done. So they either have to sail around with their rafts to get to this little spot over here, and then if they get here, they have to pick up climbing, so they'll learn that, okay, hey, their unit can get stuck. Not the end of the world. Oh yeah, this here is intended to be a explorer, so that way there's a way for the player to get to this lighthouse all the way up over here. This is supposed to give veteran swordsman. This is supposed to give the veteran rammer. And this map is very much intentionally made to allow players to use sailing to wrap around here if they pick up this ruin. If they don't pick up this ruin, they still have multiple avenues to go after the capital or apply a lot of pressure to the first expansion Yadak can get over here. Again, notice 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 versus Yadak's 2 in order to give the player a much easier time to do what they need to do. One other key thing we did, look at these little, you know what I need to do? I need to open up my pen tool. So we have 2 paths that are pretty much open that allows riders to actually just rush on forward. Because remember, the previous campaign mission was specifically about riding, so the player can still use riding in order to overcome this objective. But they also have the other options of potentially sailing, trying to experiment with it and use this larger water over here, just using the rafts to land units here, 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 and here. Heck, even all the way over here. They have the potential of using climbing in order to ignore these mountains. They have to use climbing here. They have to use climbing here in order to... Actually, I guess they don't. I guess technically because the sail, if they get a... Well, they'd have to pick up the sailing tech, then upgrade, and then go over here. Even though it's definitely possible, it's a bit of a stretch for like a new player to do, so it's fine. It's fine. But if they do that, kudos to them. I'm glad that they were able to get this lighthouse just by using a sailboat, and if for some reason they don't and they just move the raft all the way over, they have to use climbing in order to get this lighthouse over here. Again, we're just building up upon everything else we're doing. Oh, and they can pick up organization, right? Wrong. We haven't played Zabazi yet. This is just for decorative purposes. They can't pick up farming yet. It's supposed to just look nice. Next is number 6. This one I kind of threw together really, really fast. But this one is the first mission where the player gets to experiment with roads. And again, we're trying to build up on everything that we previously do. We have a direction over here because we start off at this capital, where they can use just sailing to go all the way out. If they pick up this ruin here, they do pick up sailing, so that way they can go across the water. Right over here is a veteran rammer. Right over here is a veteran swordsman. I forgot what I want this one to be. Probably a veteran swordsman. Man, what did I want some of these to be? I should have written down the notes. Anywho, I could do the exact same thing everybody else can do, and I can... This is supposed to be an explorer. Because the reason why we want to give the player multiple veteran swordsmen is specifically so... This could also be an explorer. This also could be an explorer just to see what's going on with Zabazi. Which, notice, since we're playing against Zabazi, that also means that they're going to be playing as Zabazi next, and that's going to be the next mission. But look how saturated I had made their capital over here. Notice these are not, like, this one has nothing here. This only has enough for, like, 2 levels. This only has enough for, like, 2 levels. Technically, they can get more. But the idea is for the AI to get 1 or 2 giants for the player to overcome and go, hey, by the way, you know, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities versus their 4, and you have the ability to use riders. Use them. You've got a lot of units that you should be throwing out against your opponents, and hopefully the player learns that, you know what, figures out I should just be... This is one of the first instances where we're trying to subtly push to the player, you need to be making units, without just blatantly telling them you need to be making units. But, again, if I had control over, like, cutscenes or all that, I would basically say that thing is enormous. We're going to need a massive army. That's a deeply thought tutorial design. Is it going to be integrated into the actual game? I wish. When I am done with everything and I refine it, I'm first going to be making, like, probably some YouTube videos to make it look more professional, because unfortunately, I don't have control over everything I say that's going to be going on. But, I will be talking to Midji1 again, and saying, hey, when I keep saying that we need a tutorial / campaign, this is essentially what I'm talking about, is you're not necessarily holding their hand, but you are making very specific maps in order to build up upon old mechanics, let the player breathe, and then jump into it. Because not every, like, when the World Championship was happening for Polytopia, and I was trying to let my coworkers know, like, hey, I need the days off, because I was going to be, I was helping, co-host a lot of the streams, and I wanted to do the exact same thing during the actual championship, and then people called out, so fantastic. And they wanted to see what they robbed me of. They all got addicted to Polytopia for like 2 weeks, but all of them did the exact same thing. As soon as they did the tutorial and it went there, they all looked at me and they went, now what? Like, build an army and destroy the opponent. That's the game. They're like, oh, okay. And they kind of enjoyed it, but they were very lost. Oops. I had broken it. There we go. Fixed. So I have also tested each of these maps, but I tested them myself. All the maps work and do what needs to be done, but I'm also a player that understands the game. So if we go to new game, creative, Yadak, pick, custom, tutorial 6, which is the Yadak tutorial. We're at 225. That is 15 by 15. Fantastic. But, like, here's the Yadak one. Right over here. Is... heck. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and build an extra warrior. No, there's not a lot of resources on the capital. The whole reason why there's not a lot of resources on this capital is specifically... we're wanting the player to get all their resources through roads. Right over there. So we can... road. And I'm just going to train a warrior. Alrighty, and then this is an explorer. Dang! Yeah, I don't have actual control over that. But that would have been nice if it was. We're going to go and train a warrior. A lot of mounts. Like, notice, that's a lot of mountains. But in this instance... this mountain here, if you get climbing, you can get this lighthouse down here very easily. I probably should have done that. And I'll go ahead and just build those here just because I want to. Workshop. grab organization. Notice I'm doing this really badly. I'm just gonna grab an explorer just so that way you would see what the player would see. Is like, look at all those trees. Just look at them. That is a lot of trees. This is the moment where you tell them, like, hey, it's going to take forever for our writers to go through that. We're like, well, no, not with the power of roads. With the power of roads, we'll be able to get through that no problem at all, blah, 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 blah. Like, I can do this. Boom. I noticed you're getting an actual new to test here. How's it going? Thanks. It's going pretty good. I'm gonna go and grab fishing. Just a workshop. Oops. Yeah, so that's not supposed to give pops. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, port. This will go into the water. We need another unit there. Ooh, I can level up the capital here in just a moment. Like, I can put a port here. Order growth. But I'm still missing a few pops. Fish. Port. Resources. I'm doing great, blueberry cheesecake. Warrior, warrior. We can pass. And let's see, I want to get hunting. No, I don't. I'm just gonna... Road. Road. Fish. Workshop. Alrighty, and then we get sailing! Dang. Alright, Metropolis is complete. Like, this is the first map that's really gonna start allowing the player to, like, consistently get Metropolises. Metropoli? Metropolises. Yay, we got sailing. And then... I wanted a veteran unit. Oh well. Hee-hee-ho! Yes. Woo. And then for a new player, they can get onto this mountain up here and they can see that and like, hey, we can build a bridge. Because unfortunately, with the way that these custom maps work, you don't actually get to see the coastland. So, you know, mod map makers. Let's see if we can get that fixed, man. Yay, and then we got ourselves a veteran rammer. Where's... Where's the Bozzy? They already got a Park of Fortune. Alright, bridge. Where's William? Just pick this up. Network Bazaar. Again, just... more monuments. Hey! We can pick up mining and get some metal. Fish. Oh wait, I think this is supposed to be an explorer if possible. Explore. Yes, that swordsman works fine as well. What is that thing? Yep, they got a second giant. Hilarious. They got a third. Oh, I love it. All right. Bridge. How many monuments do I have? I currently have 2. I need 2 more?
Hey, kid. Want to see a magic trick? First, hold out your soul.
Fish.
Good. Now, hold still.
I should have used a rider for that. Oh well. What am I supposed to do against 3 giants? Oh well, we'll just spam riders. It's fine. I do want to get the hunting tech. Beautiful. I can level this up. 1, 2, 3. But every single one of these cities should be able to get to level 3, and then they can do a border growth and easily get a giant with a metropolis. And we're just gonna... Wandering Door, how goes it? Glad you can make it. Praise the door. Praise the door. Alrighty. And then we kill this giant. Oh noes. Road. 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 I'm gonna brute force it. There's nothing you guys can do about it. It's happening. Road. Is this map being friendly? Yeah. It's doing what I need it to do. No, they're sieging my city! How could they do that? How could this happen to me? Just go there and die. Boom. Bop-a-da-bop. Beautiful. Yay. There we go. Haha! Brute force wins every time! But at this point, you know, there's Port. Port. Hunt. Resources. There you go, another lighthouse. Why is there an Amazon rainforest there? Why not? Are you going with such an inefficient... why are you going with an inefficient way to kill it? Why not? What method would you prefer me to be using? I assure you, there's no better way. The efficient one? I did not consider that one. Thank you for bringing that one to my attention. I will consider it. But why use the efficient one when I can just throw everything at the like at the door? You're welcome. Always there to help a new player. Yes. Well, one of these days I'll be as good as everybody else here. Chad always knows the best play. I mean, really, the best way to play, the best move is not to play. War games, anybody? Why does it seem like the map looks more geologically accurate, though? Because in this world, we are all but followers of the great meta. This is absolutely necessary. Beautiful. And that's the killer monument. Have you heard turn 12 turn 12 double level 8 market? Ooh. That sounds pretty nasty. Are you sure it's appropriate for live streaming? We're just gonna build more roads. Oh, well, we went from full pops over there to absolutely none. There you go. 23 turns in. And that's a win. Letting players figure that out that they should be training a lot of units. Because if you give them a big obstacle like multiple giants right there at the capital, you don't even get markets. No. So ignore the strategy tech being picked up, but like this is all the technology we have access to. Alrighty. Next one is Zabazi. Our first 16 by 16 map. Every single time, the map gets a little bit larger. And now we are officially on 16 by 16. Alrighty, Zabazi! Zabazi. So if we look at... Boom. So what are we about to be going over? Eraser. Zabazi, of course, starts off with... the farming technology. And naturally, that's going to lead into construction. So this is what our new tech tree is going to be looking like for this mission. Check out this replay, 3 markets that are level 8. My goodness. Oh yeah, but where's that text at the top of the screen? So the main objective of this one is to teach farming, but to also teach the construction tech and introduce the conception of tier 3 buildings. So we're at the point where the text is, you know, getting kind of big up there at the top of the screen. I'm gonna go ahead and hide it, because it is taking up a lot of the screen. Keep your knuckles safe. But notice we still don't have forestry, we still don't have access to archery, we don't have catapults, we don't actually have swordsmen, we only have veteran swordsmen to let the players know that, hey, you know, these units are very, very strong, you know, things. But we're really trying to push the player now into creating giants, their first main unit of pushing a giant offensive, setting up a good economy, like, give them access to all these tools just for that. So time for... That's disgusting. Thanks for sharing the picture. Markets and Hoodrick are very balanced. They are. Oddly enough, Hoodrick's going to be one of the last ones to introduce, even though archers are, like, really nice. Or at least, they should be one of the last ones based off of this chart here, because Hoodrick, they start off with archery. I want them to be the one to teach the, wood cutting. Man, I can't remember the technology all of a sudden. Why? I'm gonna brain fart. Forestry. The forestry technology. Can you make a massive map in that mod? Yes, you can. Though, it might not load. $100 by 100? It's only 10,000 tiles. Bigger! Yeah, you can make a massive map, but depending on your hardware, there's a chance it doesn't load. And it could crash your game. So, terrain. It also would take forever to make. So this is the first map that's going to be closer to, well, I mean, it's 16 by 16, so it's 256 by 256? Is my math right? And then, if I go back to this, the next tribe we would be having is either Imo, or, because one of the last ones has to be Luxador, followed by Venger. I don't know. I kind of want Venger to be the last one, because Venger is a pretty bad tribe. And that one's really going to be the one to, like, push the player, hey, by the way, you get to start off with Swordsman, but, it sucks. So, if your device is beefy enough, you can make a map that's a replica of Earth. Yes, there are already maps of continents in the Polymod community. So the next tribe, I think, is going to be Quetzali. No, it really shouldn't be Quetzali, right? Because Imo needs to be, like, the second to last one, followed by Venger. I don't know, maybe from an army standpoint, archery should be next. Because Quetzali introduces diplomacy. I want to see one where 1 tile equals 1 kilometer. You can make it. You gotta install the mod yourself. You can do it. Nothing's stopping you. Only thing that's stopping you is your personal time and motivation. But, cloaks are complicated, right? I think after Zabazi, we need to introduce Hoodrick next. Hoodrick's gotta be next, because archery and catapults are much more easier to understand. And it's also probably going to be the first moment, because diplomacy, I do want to try to take advantage of. Yeah. Next one's going to be Hoodrick after this one. I might only be making one map today, though, because as these maps are getting larger, they're getting a lot more complicated to make, and I gotta, instead of going like, this is the goal, get it done, boom, complete. We're really trying to mix and match a lot of mechanics together. Quetzali shouldn't free-for-all. Quetzali definitely would be having some form of... I already know exactly how I would do it, where you're given somebody... I'm thinking. Give me a moment. I'm attempting to use my brain. We need an unbeatable AI as the campaign final boss for real. I mean, I could definitely set up a very, very tough potential final boss. Like, all you gotta do is give the player a really, really rough start, and then give the AI just something absolutely, you know, just give the AI a whole bunch of free real estate where they can instantly level everything up, or at least instantly level their capital up. How's it going, Astro? Great to see you again. So, I'm probably going to start breaking a little bit of a rule, because if we look at all of our previous maps, we start, I mean, even though it's kind of in the center, we start off at the bottom. We start off at the bottom. We start off near the bottom. We start off at the bottom. We start off, actually, we start off all the way on the right side, so this wouldn't be the first one. But we start off on the bottom. I think I'm going to have us start off on the left. The heck? Did I accidentally... My speakers can change color. That's fine. But suddenly they're on a different setting, and I don't remember actually touching something. to touching that button. Everything is forced with animals for the enemy, and they have perfect density and perfect port spots. Exactly. Like, that's what you have to do, is you have to very specifically set it up so the enemy gets a really, really powerful start. Illyrian would make a good final boss because of the dragons. I was probably going to be making Venger one of the final bosses. And then give Venger like a very, very powerful start, just so that way, even from the eyes of a new player, they go, oh my goodness, you know, this person is very, very strong and scary. Alright, well, we gotta try fixing this all over again. We're gonna save as 07 Zebazi. Have I been naming them tutorial or campaign? Tutorial. 07 Zebazi tutorial. Is there introduced units? Like, imagine a super dragon with 40 HP and extra movement. Man, I'd love to be able to just create, you know, tweak the stats of units. Because, honestly, the best thing you could do is... have a map where we're just gonna use these ruins. Like, you have, like, a couple units here, and then you have, like, a row of enemy units here. Or, like, weaker units in order to, like, really introduce something. You could also have one of the AIs start off here with water. Right here. Oops, with ruins everywhere. You could have the enemy unit start off right here, so that way, as soon as the game starts, they will be moving to one of these tiles, and you'll be introduced, and you'll get a star boost. Like, that's a great way to also help out a new player, especially if you're planning on doing something like introducing diplomacy. Alrighty. Imagine knights with 2 range. You mean like tridents? What you can have an ally in stores always have one that has peace and never betrays and then die or fight. Yeah, like, it would be great to have an ally you start off with. I made a big giant list of things that I want and need. The whole list of stuff that, in order to make this a lot better, need to be able to set city levels and starting pops. That would make scenarios and even just some potential maps a lot more interesting. Need to be able to place units. Just having units starting off the map would be amazing. You could also use that as a way for first turn advantage, because I've been playing quite a bit with Advance Wars online, learning quite a bit. But what they do is whoever player 2 is, they start off with an extra infantry. So even though player 1 has the economic advantage, player 2 already has something moving forward a lot faster. So it'd be great to be able to do something similar in Polytopia if we're making our own maps. Need to be able to lock out techs, if people want to make a Drylands only map and then have it to where you can't research a tech, you can't pick up the tech through ruins, like, it'd be great, because I want to be able to lock a tech of what techs the players can research. I also want to be able to lock the tech for what, ruins can give. Because, like, on a true Drylands, you don't want somebody to be picking up, fishing. But, like, in these scenarios, I want to specifically say what kind of stuff a player can get. It would also be interesting to lock out a tech, say you are unable to get climbing, but on the map have one ruin, like, in front of each player's base, like, off in an awkward side, where in order to be able to pick up climbing, you have to go to that ruin. Right? Just... instead of, oh, well, I just researched climbing or whatever. No. Like, that ruin is how you pick it up. Like, just think about the map-making possibilities you could do with that. You can't pick up navigation unless you go all the way to a ruin on the corner of the map. Wait, what if there's a unit that has both melee and ranged attack? The ranged attack has less damage but gives no retaliation. See, that'd be interesting. While the melee attack's more damage. With the way Polytopia is set up, I don't think that's possible. You know what? Actually, they could do that with an ability. And then make it like a skirmisher, where it has... where it could just be like a 3 cost, it's a skirmisher, has a range of 2. It has the rider ability of it can move after attacking, but its ranged attack is only a 1. I don't know. Technically, that makes it to where it has a range of 3, by the way. So there should be a campaign-specific unit for real, like a king. Yeah. And can't train anymore. Yes, I would love that. Need to be able to set player starting vision. It'd be great to be able to have the player be able to see certain areas at the start of the game. Like, if you wanted to set up a King of the Hill, and you want to really make sure that, if someone is heading towards the center, you actually have a little bit of a time to see that, and then start heading over there without having to get explorers. Specifically, if it's supposed to be like, hey, the center is the main objective, you can build a level 8 forge there. You need to be able to enforce player tribes. I need to be able to tell... we need to be able to specifically set what player 1's supposed to be, what player 2's supposed to be, what player 3's supposed to be. We need to be able to set the player starting alliances, because it'd be great to introduce Quetzalcoatl, and Quetzalcoatl goes, "Hi, friend!" And, you know, they immediately start off as an ally. It would also be great, you know, to set up the idea of, like, 2v2s, like that. Need to be able to place roads on the map. Have starting roads on the map, so that way... like, roads and bridges. Because we could place algae. Like, look at this. I could place flooded, I could place algae. Why can't I place roads? When the king does, you lose, and you get it. Yeah, the point of view of the king getting killed. Yeah. That would be fun. Right. Needs to be able to place, make predetermined ruin results. I want the ruins to be able to tell the ruins, hey, this ruin is going to give climbing. And as a backup, it's going to give this instead. And as a backup, you know, just give a hierarchy of each ruins. Like, if I go here and I click the city, boom. And then I left-click it, set capital, I get to say, hey, this is the player 1 capital. Set. Fantastic. If I go to the ruin, if I click the ruin, nothing happens. I should be able to tell the, have it set, hey, this is what the ruin is going to create. Like, I want this ruin to give pops. Hey, I want this ruin to give stars. I want this ruin to give navigation if possible. If it can't give navigation, give sailing instead. If it can't give sailing, give fishing instead. If it can't give fishing for some reason, because like the player already picked up all 3, give stars instead. And then make sure that, you know, every single ruin is a legit, or even just tell each ruin, hey, ruin, be random. I don't care what you give. And You're supposed to know that Control W allows you to rename, and Control S allows you to save. There needs to be a little, like, toggleable, box that allows me to say, hey, what are all the shortcuts, because that part's just an oversight. Anywho, that's just me going off on a tangent. So, Zabazi. Zabazi starts off with the farming technology, and they can pick up construction. Now, what I actually want to do is we're going to place Zabazi over here onto the west. What's the starting tribe that you plan for, or does it differ every game? It is different every single game. So, tutorial number 1, you play as Imperius. And you get to learn the very, very basics with them. Each one of these, you're basically building up upon whatever the other thing is. The 1, 2, 3, 4, I had those as the main ones because those are the first free-to-play tribes. In case the player, after like 3 or 4, decides that, you know what, they're done with the campaign, they just want to do something else, or just play a custom game, fantastic. They have access to all the free-to-play tribes. So that one, from how Polytopia is set up, is a requirement. Is our first 4 has to be the 4 starting ones. Imperius is easy because you don't even give them access to the research tree. You just, hey, get a level 3, get a second city and get that city to level 3. Fantastic. Barter, this is the first time you are able to research the text. You have to research organization in order to use it. You don't realize you need to use it until you've gone to this city over here, and you're like, huh, that's weird. Why can't I eat these fruits? And notice we use the Imperius fruits, not the barter fruits over here, so that way they know exactly what they saw from the exact previous game. If they go over to this ruin and pick this up, they get the climbing tech, and they can then experiment with going over and pick this one up earlier. Because it's always nice to give players a little bit of that, was I not supposed to get that yet? What does that do? Oh, okay, but, you know, the main objective is get 4 cities and get 1 city to level 3, and that's only this city over here that is applicable, where you can see 2 different kinds of animals, 2 different kinds of fruits. It requires you to pick up the research tree, and bada bing, bada boom. That is the map objective. Number 3 is Shinshi. Teach them climbing, build up upon everything. You got both, horses, you got both the fruits. Again, building up on what you got, but teaching them what exploring does based off of, you know, walking onto the mountains. They walk over here, they find the lighthouse, and this is the first instance that they learned that, hey, lighthouses give you free pops. Oh, okay, that should be good, you know, so on and so forth. And then the 4th one is the Omaji, the first one we start to be open. What we're working on is Zabazi. Is it possible to make an 18 by 16 map? Technically, yes. What you would have to do, or an 8 by 16 map, is you would have to do something as, like, such, where you cut the map in half, and then you only just use 1/2 of it. Now, that means that you do prevent the player from being able to use lighthouses. But with the way that Polytopia is set up, it can only be the same X by same X. You know, X times X, not X times Y. So we're going to be placing our starting city. And the starting city I want to be... I want one to go here. But it'd be great to kind of have like a spacing of 3 by 3 kind of on all of these. Because, hear me out. We really want the player to be able to experiment with farming crops. So we would want something like this. But we're gonna remove these. you know, something like this is very much what we would be wanting. Specifically so that the player can learn, hey, this is how you make, you know, this is farming. And we're just going to be giving them really, really good construction spots. So, I at least want this. However, because of the way that the Polytopia mod, or the map-making mod works, this is too close. This is too close to the lighthouse right here. Because if I have the player start off here, they're immediately going to be getting this lighthouse. So, how do we fix this? What I can do is something a little interesting, maybe like this? And then actually have their capital start here? And then we put some water here. You know, like, maybe like that? No, not there. Or we place like a field here, and then we just have a... You know, I could do something like this. I'm curious, what does it look to put a farm fruit in a lighthouse? You can't. You cannot. So if we do this, we make it to where the where the player cannot go over here with sailing. But I do want the player to have access to sailing. But in this instance, we are really wanting the player to just experiment with I can do something like this. What about an animal? Oh, you cannot. I can put an animal here, though. So that way, if I just remove that, and then I just put this as none, and then I also set this to none, boom, animal's right there. So that does work as intended. But we can put a ruin here. But why would I want to put a ruin? I kind of just want to, but I don't have a reason to be doing that yet. So this setup, we're just wanting to give the player a really golden setup. We also have to assume that roads are always going to be a thing at this point for the player, because they have access to roads. Remember, if we look at our current cheat sheet, this is the tech tree we have access to. So we have access to roads, we have access to all the basic economic skills, we have access to research sailing. But we got to be careful about like when we give the player access on the map. I don't want Hudrick to be causing a lot of problems for the player here. Add a fruit on a construction spot. You cannot. It's either one or the other. Oh, or on a construction spot? Yeah, I guess I could do that. I could definitely do that. I mean, because I do want to give the player access to organization and go, hey, like, this city, you're going to need this tech. This city, you're going to need this tech. This city, you're going to need this tech. You know, and so on and so forth. Just so that way the player understands, like, hey, like, 2 of these cities are going to be good with, you know, what you're starting off with, but... do something like this. Also, where is it? I want them to be playing against Hudrik. Because they're going to play as Hudrik next. So, just field. You know. The player's getting a lot of space. Again. Excuse me. Oh, my most sincerest apologies. I want something like this, with just more coasts. We're just gonna save. Always be in a habit of saving your work. It would be funny to add a ton of fishes in an unreachable body of water. You technically could. You definitely technically could do that. We also got to remember we have access to the construction technology. So the construction technology, you can burn forests in order to, you know, create more crops. So, perhaps that is something we would want to do on, like, this one right here. Remember, we don't have access to chopping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, miscounting. Hold on. This is 5. And then with roads, 6, 7, 8. Because we need 2, 3, and then 4. So we need 9 pops in order to get this one leveled up with the potential border growth. Put the mountain here instead and put this forest here. Ooh, you know what? I like the look of that. Because that could be an interesting bridge where the player can see, can still do that move. You know, let the player experiment, right? We don't have access to chopping, but that doesn't mean we don't have access to lumber huts. We also don't have access to lumber huts. Because we can't use the forestry technology. Forestry is not accessible. Math at least be accessible? Not accessible. Nope. Look at our cheat sheet. This is all we got. No archery, no forestry, No mathematics. We are only just now getting access to our first Tier 3 technology on Tutorial 7. And we want to make sure that they feel really, really good and powerful with it. Like, oh my goodness, this is strong. Right? But they don't have access to forges, despite having access to mining. No markets. Yep, no markets yet. We aren't going to be playing with Luxador for a while. So, we also have more control about their economy by doing so. Is this a bad idea? This is probably a bad idea. Who's introducing rammers and bombers? They're getting a little bit of access to rammers, but not through technology. They're mostly only getting it through ruins, because we also want them to know that, hey, rammers are like really strong. But bombers are not going to be available until Luxador when markets come into play. Because Luxador is supposed to be, I'm the rich tribe. So they're the ones that are going to have access to the expensive stuff. How would this campaign mode be playable? Well, so if you guys want to play it, you will have to install the poly mod as well as the map making mod yourselves, and then I can just share the maps with you guys. Like, I could just share the maps right now. Here, give me a moment. Like, no, don't open it. Like, there. All you gotta do is download that, put into your maps folder, and then you can play the map. And that's tutorial number 1. Like, it's a very, very small file. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. If you guys actually want it, I will give you guys access to them. But like everything I'm doing right now, everything I'm doing right now is really just a work in progress and hypothetical. By putting their city here, we are instantly giving them 1 population as Hoodrick. Is that a mistake? Or is it time for us to... It's definitely a mistake giving them this city here. I want them to have this city here, but I think that's a mistake. So, even though this is going to be the player 1 capital, this is the player 2 capital. If the player looks at this and goes, I can put riders there, they're going to notice that this is completely cut off by trees, and they're going to have to find another way around. You can place a mountain there if you don't want them to get a tier 0 lighthouse. Well, because of how the polymod works right now, because the way normal Polytopia works is if your city spawns here close enough to the lighthouse, this tile does not start off visible. However, for some reason, for the polymod, this tile starts off uncovered and this player immediately gets that pop. So if I wanted them to not get it, I would have to move it 1 space over. Oh, dang. Yeah, pretty much. Is this a mistake? This can't be a mistake, right? Nah, this is definitely not a mistake. No, not a mistake. Alrighty. Final boss, Hoodrick Swan. Because Hoodrick, we can easily make weaker by giving him access to less cities. Like, the player has 4 cities here. Right now, Hoodrick only has 1. So, if I literally just boom, save, exits menu. And we're going to be at the point where this is how we're going to be playing things. First off, Yadek, goodbye. You are the weakest link. Hoodrick, enable. And we are... No. We're going to go as Zabazi. Custom. Even on easy mode. You know what I could do to be like very evil? I could put a ruin here just to have the player go, "Oh look, piece of candy," and then they go the wrong way. That would be hilarious. As where Mufasa died. We're going to pick up construction. Like, we burn this forest. Explore. Almost. Like, it's not gonna be that bad for the player. Another workshop. Let's get in the turn here. Farm. Fruit. Resources. Farm. Fruit. Resources. Farm. Fruit. Resources. What happens if a player got population growth? No. So in theory, I would want to be able to control what, the results of the ruins. That way, when they go to the ruins, they, like, if they play the campaign multiple times, there's not going to be, like, any major reason to do so. But if they play the campaign multiple times, then they're going to know exactly what's in the ruins. That's fine. Yes! Hoodrick got border growth. Windmill. Burn forest. Farm. Yes. Farm. Farm. Super units. Metropolis is complete. Resources. Windmill. Border growth. At this point, I should just burn everything, right? Farm. I don't know, maybe giving it the player direct access via roads is a mistake. I mean, like the cities. What if they got population instead of border growth? That's for them to figure out. Now, in theory, I haven't finished like making these cities yet. Like here, I'm just gonna do that for this one. There we go. So they got crazy windmills, right? Man, windmills are too powerful. Needs a nerf. Alright, climbing. So there you go. So the player has the option of building a road. That road is going to be a very, very skinny choke point against archers. A lot of them. Burn forest, farm. Market in the center would have been cool. And no access to markets, though. I still haven't even gotten roads yet. So every single map should kind of have multiple ways to win. That's good practice. In this case, go with roads. Oh, they have a giant. The average spawn every Zabazi dreams of. Yeah, just imagine how many people would start posting on Reddit. I got the dream spawn. Another giant. Yeah, maybe this is a little much. I don't know. Do you guys think that this is a couple too many giants? What if players get ports instead of bridges? Well, they can't here. They can only get a bridge here. They can put a port here. They can do that. Here. We're gonna want to place this here. Name of music. I'm just listening to Undertale lo-fi mix 1 hour on there's another giant. And let's just start spamming riders, right? So I could definitely force my way forward on this. Wow, this is actually going to be a lot tougher than I was thinking about, which is fine. Okay, it's fine. Get a giant on Waza. No, I don't wanna. Here, happy? Alright. Just gonna start spamming riders everywhere. Oh, I missed a spot. There we go. Much better. Why ports and not burn the forest? I mean, this is more of just an example game.
Hey, kid. Want to see a magic trick? First, hold out your soul. Good. Now, hold still.
In a hurry, yeah. Pretty much. We should have more than enough units. But also, this is like a lot of cities versus one. So, like, you can do stuff. I could do something like that. Woohoo! There we go. It only took 22 turns. Giant rush over the bridge. Exploring on a vast and empty land alone gives some odd feeling. Alright, back to map maker. The ominous feeling of, did I do something wrong? Did I accidentally break the game? Is it Borkund? I think we're gonna go ahead and continue to kind of have the water go around this way. Now, we are gonna make sure that bridges don't work here as well, but we are gonna set it up, you know, where there's gonna be like a little corner, let's just say over here, like something like this. Where they could build a bridge over here, or they could just go over the land over here. You need fishes in the water. That's true. You're right. Let me get that fixed. Perfect. Alrighty. Yeah, we will be placing some fish, actually, by this water. In order to help guide the player that, hey, you can go onto the water here. Because essentially that's what you're, what is happening anytime you, we could place like 3, right? We could do something like this. Place 3 fish. So if the player, for some reason, does not go construction... Now, I do want the player to not be able to research construction, but I want them to get construction from, like, these ruins all the way over here. So if I want the player to pick that up, then we also need to make sure that it's easy to get to. No. I want it cut off just a little bit. Again, we're trying to help teach that picking up clawing allows them to see more and get a defensive bonus against their opponents. In fact, what we can also do is, for Hudrick, we have it to where the tiles are like so. And then Hudrick gets a couple mountains. Like here and here. So we really have this narrow choke point. Or better yet, we can do something like this. What happens if Hudrick spammed catapults? I want it to be difficult for the player to attack Hudrick through here. Well, all the Zavazi giants are cooked. Yeah. That's, like... Notice I was able to do it just fine, but I immediately just rushed the giants, moved them up across the roads, and boom, you know, we used skill and won the game. You should... my priority is I'm wanting players to have multiple different options of how to proceed with the map. Because as we teach them more and more mechanics, I want them to, A, explore their new mechanics just fine. Like, hey, you know, we got all this farmland over here. Woody hoo and all that fun stuff. We need 2 more Zabazi cities. Somewhat close, not too close. So we're just gonna put one here. Wrong! One goes here, and then one's gonna go here. I don't want these cities to level up as much. We really want the capital to be the one that's doing the insane leveling. We can do something like this. So at this point, we now have... I've been using a lot of things. This is our capital. It can level up by making connection with each of the cities. We can place... a windmill in each of these locations. Once this... the construction technology is picked up here, we have these forests here to let the player experiment with having to burn down some land in order to create more crops, because they'll be able to get a whole bunch right here. The player is able to use bridges, but it is insanely slow, and if Hudrick does what Hudrick's supposed to be doing, they're going to have a lot of archers, and or they are going to have some catapults. Who do you think would win that game if it was played between 2 players? In this instance, right over here, Zabazi every single time. Solaris should burn forests. Solaris is not one of the base tribes. We will be making a couple of campaigns for them as well, but we're going over the base Polytopia mechanics. Why is the analytics broken? YouTube, why are your analytics broken? Oh boy, I can release products. Fantastic. And then I can, you know, bombard you guys with advertisings. Speaking of advertisings, we're gonna go ahead and bring it all the way to today's sponsor. No, I don't have any sponsor. I hate advertising so much with a fiery passion. There's other stuff in customer service that I dislike having to do, but it's part of my job. Anywho, I want to make sure that the player is able to level the... Well, I was able to show that just with the base text, they were able to level all their cities up and get giants everywhere. So is this good enough? Hey, there we go. The analytics are working now. I almost had a heart attack when you said yes. I'll be fully honest, I did try the game out. I tried it out years ago. It's just a giant cash. It's just a giant's cash grab. I want them to be able to see that there's land on the other side. Right there and there. That's just good for a couple mountains. We have another spot for a bridge, so the player can take a shortcut in order to get to this city right here. Oh, wrong. We can place also one more city over here. What do you guys think? Should I have... Here's what I'm honestly thinking. I think I should have the ability for a bridge. Because we have a land bridge here. What about having like two mountains, one here and one here? And then we just have the bridge here. Because climbing is technically slower. By seeing this setup here, I'm assuming that the player is going to want bridges. Or not bridges, or want roads. So I feel like the player is incentivized to go roads first. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and place a mountain on this tile right over here. Oh, wrong. So we have a little land bridge right there. Right? What are you going to do with the rest of the math? We're figuring that out. So what I would like to have is another little continent to explore, because we don't need this entire map to be filled with land. But I do want a land connection between the two. So let's say like this goes to like right here or something like that, and then this goes, you know, something like this. Which also means that I need shores here, 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 here. Wrong, here, here, here. Having a vast empty land of nothing would be fun to explore. For some reason, I doubt that. I need something that's somewhat easy for Hoodrick to defend, like right here. A little bit. Not, like, insanely easy, but... There's a single ruin there. Yeah, I mean, I want to put something all the way over here for the players to go and find and explore. So right now the player really has, like, 2 main ways of getting onto the water. 3 if you, for some reason, count this tile all the way over here. You can, I guess. I guess what I also could do is swap to Zabazi. Just place this here. Place another... water. I can do something like this. So the player could technically build a port here. I don't know, do something like that. Now, I kind of want to make sure that the easiest way for the player to form an attack, like, we should have 3 different ways in this current instance to kind of win. We have way number 1, which I would hope would be the hardest. They just build a bridge and go straight for the capital. Because of all the forests that's here, it's not quite ideal, and it's really, really, challenging for the player to sneak into the spot like that. Option number 2, they attacked through water. Makes it a little bit easier by doing so, but they're, I also have to be careful about putting mountains down because the player doesn't get defensive bonuses yet. Only the AI does. Option number 3, attack through land. This is why we kind of have 2 spots for a land bridge here. But no place for the player to build a bridge. The player can already be building a bridge here. The player can already build a bridge here. Technically, they can place a bridge here or here. We're gonna... I think I'm gonna go ahead and move these 1 tile over. We're just gonna do that. Boom, boom. Bang, bang. There you go. So, They can technically build a bridge right here where this fish is. We are going to go ahead and place a little bit more fish right there. So that way with fishing and with organization and roads, it is enough for them to level this city up at least to level 3. Of course, we know that if they do pick up the ruin all the way over here, they are able to get construction. Do I want that to be where they get construction, though? I could also have it to where it's a ruin all the way out here is where they had to pick up construction. Maybe. The most troll thing I could do is put fish here. Yeah, we went ahead and put fish on this tile to help level up the city. You know what? Maybe I should. Just to, give the player access to stuff like that. We're gonna go ahead and place down this forest here. Hoodrick. Boom. One time I said I had a level 6 market, and my friend said his market is 7. Oh, only deleting. Know the reference? Uh-huh, sure. Sure thing, bud. And do I want to give Hoodrick enough resources to build to do a border growth here? Yeah. That's what I get for just reading everything out as y'all type them, but you got me. I don't think I want every single one of these to have animals. And we are going to place one more city intended for Hoodrick out here, but this one is going to be a little more exposed. No, actually, I'm not giving any fish to this one over here. I intentionally want that to be a weak point. Yo, what is this Hoodrick spawn? I mean, they got 5 cities. We've currently got... We're about to be giving our Zabazi player a 7th city to work with. Maybe we'll put it there instead. I don't have the player really using hunting too much. So we're gonna fix that just a little bit. I don't know. I will be fixing and adjusting every single one of these. I want this city to be able to get to I want this city to be able to only get to level 4 with a border growth. So, you know what? Let's just work this from an opposite direction. That way, they have a chance of getting at a couple more tiles of water, which I will... a chance to. So it can go there. I can do something like this. Well, one, two. Do I just add the fish just to make it easy, or do I not? So I at least want this city to be easy to level up. That should definitely be doable. We're going to place a ruin over there. You know what that ruin is. It's a veteran ram. It's a veteran rammer. Oh, wrong thing. We're gonna... we're gonna add... Well, if I add an island all the way over here, it can't go that far. Or at least I would have to push this village back one tile. But I kind of want this one to be a little exposed like this, where it is. So maybe... well, what do I add out here then? I mean, I could just add more, ruins. We're gonna add more... mountains, actually. Right here. Nah, right here. So I'm gonna do something like this. Kind of expose Hoodrick a little bit, where sure you can kind of push, you can break through, but we really need a weak village here to give the player something simple to attack. Because this city is way out on its own. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still need 13. So I need 5 more. Oh, 9 for a road. So I need 4 more in order to do a border growth here. The farm can be 1 quite easily. Two, 3, 4. So that will give the player enough right here with the way this village is set up. So with fishing, I mean, it's expensive, but port. So 3, 4, road 5, construction 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then place down a windmill here. 12, 13 is enough to do a border growth for them to be able to collect those extra tiles over there. Can at least make it a little bit easier with a village like this one. I don't want to give them like too many levels, so one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with a road does allow a border growth. Wow, that's a lot. Alrighty, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attempt it. We're gonna play test it again. We're gonna play a Zabazi. Custom. We're gonna do the Zabazi tutorial. But we're not gonna be doing a giant rush this time. Workshop. Pass. Interesting. Even though it was playing the music, it just there's no volume. I am back for a minute. Welcome back, Wandering Door. So we're not going to be rushing giants out everywhere, and we're not going to be doing the giant road rush that we did like last time. What are you contemplating? Right now, I'm trying to see if a slower approach, potentially by the player, is something that would still be feasible. Should I make this, Hoodrick territory? Or maybe these 2 tiles here should be Hoodrick territory. I don't know. At this point, we're now able to start considering a lot of options in regards to how we design each of these maps. I am going to go ahead and pick up fishing, so I can level this city up. 1, 2. I'm just going to do an explore. Let's see what we find. I also really want to have an eye on Hoodrick at this point, just to see what's going on over there. Farm. Workshop. The capital looks big and juicy. Absolutely. We want the player to feel powerful. Of course, the AI is able to do really nice stuff too. Ooh, they got city walls. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick up climbing, just so I can see what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and level up this. Workshop. Go there. We can level this up. Farm. Resources. Farm. Resources. Do I have enough to level the city up? 11. Perfect. Port. Fish and fish. We were able to level that up. Papa, Toby, why haven't you gotten construction yet? I can't research the tech. It's not possible. See? I go to click and just nothing happens. It's not even there. But if I get the roads technology, because we learned from the last campaign mission, I can start connecting my cities. 2, 3, 4. Boom. Look at that. Stonks. And I can get a border growth and get even more territory. Isn't that amazing? That's really, really good. All right, nothing else can go, and I'm just going to pass the turn. Alrighty. All right, now we can go ahead and pick up this ruin. And for those of you who are upset I wasn't grabbing it last turn, just in case this doesn't give me what I want, I just got to pick it up here. And we've got... Look at that, it gave us the construction technology. We can use this construction technology in order to improve our farmlands even further. But haven't you counted to 100,000 on video with no breaks? Well, because unfortunately, I actually need a new pair of brakes. So it's hard to do that when... I'm just going to pick up a park. There we go. So, they're doing a border growth over there. Kind of want to just see what's going on over there. Alright, build a farm. Windmill. Border growth. Yes! Stonks! Go and capture this. I can go fishing. I can get a port. We would appreciate it. Do a 100 million follower giveaway. Look, if I get to the point where I have 100 million followers, heck yeah, I'll do a giveaway. I see absolutely no reason why I couldn't. Oh, the easy AI is so bad. I want to grab hunting. Hunt. Hunt. Resources. Ooh, wait, I could do a windmill here. 1, 2, 3. Border growth. I can do a farm here. And I can do a windmill here. I can get a rider. So notice, I've actually also made things a little bit of annoying. Even if I get riders here, it's blocked off by these forests. So again, we're reinforcing the idea, if you want to rush this way, you got to build a road, else they're going to have to send the rider all the way around. So just little ways to help tell the player what they should be doing. So in fact, what I should be doing is I should swap these two forests, and I should put them here and here. So that way, again, even if we're trying to spam out riders, they have to go a weird way around unless you build roads. So we want to do some reinforcement to make the player feel smart about their actions that they are doing. Road. Woohoo! Network monument is complete. Park. Hey, and then we can build a farm. Get ourselves another park. I can burn these forests because we do have access to construction. That bridge play from Hudrick is so big brain move. We couldn't even comprehend it. Alright, I gave him one spot. Hudrick, you had one job. Should I try to help make sure the AI doesn't do dumb stuff like that again? Turn this into a... This one should also be shallow water, just so that way it's more likely to actually be a port. Go there, we can go there, we can go here. And... park. Oh, right. I need a ruin to be the sailing ruin, because I like giving sailing through a ruin right now. Notice these mountains. Even if I do build a bridge here, it's not really going to do much. But we can build a bridge here. Get ourselves some riders. Riders. Oh no. Out of riders. Hudrick, what are you doing? You got... Last game, you had like 3 giants by turn... Whatever. Hunt. Hunt. Workshop. Road. Burn forest. Farm. Resources. Port. Windmill. Burn. Farm. Burn the farm. Border growth. There's a ruin there. I can put a road here. When you fix that bridge spot, watch Hudrick somehow block their port spot with ice. You doubted. You thought I could. Of course they did. Alrighty, this and this also need to be open. Just this spot also needs to be open. Good job, Hudrick. I'm proud of you. The whole purpose of me putting that there is so that way they can have a couple of really, really big spots. Because I really want these to be trees. I want it as difficult as possible. Bridge. Or border growth. port. There we go. Optimal! Also, road. So I could finally put it here. Whee! Good dunk. Get dunked. Patrikios using a tactic called brain cell removing, where they make the... they are making the orange cats plays. Alright, and then we get our veteran rammer! Let's go! Oh, technically one more can go here. We are going to intentionally put a little bit of water here. Alrighty. I've seen all I need to see. Is that even a crazy bot? That was easy. That was an easy bot because a crazy bot is gonna also go ahead and proceed to get knights. They're gonna proceed to get defenders. And I don't want the AI getting defenders and all that. But easy is maybe the wrong difficulty. What would Polytopia if every player had 100% vision since the beginning? Honestly, not a lot would change. Except, economies would be a little bit faster. But whoever goes first would have a dominating advantage. Just because of the way the game goes. Because at least you have the unknown of what are you supposed to be doing. But if everyone had 100% vision, whoever goes first is able to rush out riders and immediately win the battle for the choke points a lot faster than anybody reasonably could. What if? What if I did this? We go here for sailing? That sound good? Am I crazy to think that, like, hey, this rune here is gonna give sailing? Whoever goes first will be able to decide what the other player's decisions are in a free-for-all. Exactly. Bridge? What about that? This gives sailing? Of course, normal Polytopia maps don't spawn like this, but that's not what we're worried about. What do you have, Venger on a tiny little island in the east with no port spots? No, I want Venger Ruins, and where you can find a whole bunch of swordsmen. So remember, I'm trying to also give players, like, extra power through exploring. Next time we do a playtest for this map, I'm doing the AI on normal difficulty. We also found out that we need to have at least 2 spots like this. Field, let's go ahead and try to do something like that. So that way there's 3 spots. So that way Hudrick's less likely to mess it up. No. Needs to be a line. Because... I also do want to be something like this. I think just 2 like that. Have Hudrick Forest on Zabazi Continent too. Should I? The forests are unfortunately completely different. Because I could do at least... Oops. That one's wrong. Oops, that's also wrong. So I could do something like this to kind of mix them all together. This is also still fine, because if a border growth magically happens on this, bridge play is still possible, and the player is not shut off from being able to use riders. The player is still absolutely able to use riders to overrun this, all of this over here. Because unfortunately we had to plan around the AI just being dumb. I am gonna place 1 random forest Zabazi. Right here. Should I make it to where they are required to get climbing in order to get these ruins? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 5. So in theory, we are fine. What if we weaken this city? Right? Make this city a bit weaker. So we got strong, 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 and then weak through here. I could. If they get roads and I place a 4th here... Nah, there should just be no advances. Now, they absolutely can still place a... sawmill here. That would allow them to level this city up and get the city walls. Is that a problem? Kinda? I could fix that by getting rid of these 2 forests. Now I could do something like this. So the max that they can get is 3. Unless they place a monument there. I mean, I can't plan around everything, unfortunately. I mean, I could. I would just have to get rid of all of these forests as well. I have to do that, but I feel like that kind of kills the purpose of trying to have the player utilize all the tools that they've picked up so far in order to defeat Hudrick. So at this point, they should just learn how to improve their early game economy. Connect everything with roads. 2 a.m. for me. It'll be going now. Good night. Yeah, good night. Thanks for tuning on in. I also really don't have that many animals around the place. Good night, Kester. Thanks for stopping on by. We're going to place one random Zabazi mountain right here. I can place another random mountain right here. Nah, I don't want to confuse the player with this one.
Hey, kid.
Alright, let's take a look at
Want to see a magic trick?
our tech web.
First, hold
So,
on to your soul.
which ones have we been good about using? We're gonna go ahead and
Hold still.
just use green. Alrighty, we absolutely using farming, we're good. Construction, absolutely fine. We're excellent on roads. We've also, you can use riders, you can always use riders, but we're properly making sure that the player has to utilize roads with the riders a lot better. I'm using some. We're definitely sailing just fine, as well as with sailing. We're doing just fine with climbing. So, really, I still have organization and mining on this map that I needed to give a better use of. Because, like, this is cute. This is nothing. Just... Oh, my knee! Alright, I think we're actually fine on... Yeah, we're fine on hunting. The reason why we're fine on hunting is by making it to where the animals only are going to appear on these later ones. When the player picks up construction, they're not immediately punished for, you know, not having the animals quite yet and losing them. So we don't want them to, you know, plan on losing it. Yeah, all of these cities here in the center are really, really rich. So I moved the access point of this little island by just a little bit for a reason. Is I want to make sure there's enough space. And that the player can't accidentally... I want to give a very weak city. Like, it's very weak. By doing this... I can also break the rule and put the city, like, on the edge of the map. I could also break another rule of map making and just not give shorelines here. I could do something just like this. I want low ground here. We're going to put our water here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna make it to where this is the only tile to get off. I could do this, right? Just a little bit of a treasure of what is this, and get a whole bunch of stuff all the way here in the corner. Again, just rewarding exploration. The player won't see it otherwise. Put this here instead, so it's one tile further out. Just so that way they don't get to see it for free. And again, I just want them to have that curiosity of what's out there. So reward exploration. Give them one extra thing to do this map. We've got roads. I honestly just need a little bit more stuff for farming. Especially on these cities way further out here, the economy should already be pretty darn good. One, two, three. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. 8, 9, 10. Honestly, it's really, really powerful. Go ahead and remove one of you. We really don't have mining as a thing that the player gets to use. So, where do I want to give the player the ability to benefit from mining? Doesn't have to be a lot. So I'll also do something like this. Sprinkle around over there. This is supposed to be for fishing. This one's not supposed to be, like, very, very strong. could... just do something like that. Just so that way they have a big power boost. Give the player even more. We can sprinkle that right there. Sprinkle that right there. Even where it's further out of reach. Yeah, why not? Well, I don't want it at the capital. I don't want them at the capital, because, maybe just one. We'll just put the one here, just in case they do a border growth here for some reason first. I think that just looks a little bit silly. Right there. Right, that's fine. I'm gonna place one extra mountain here just to be enough in the way. So that really forces them to build roads. Maybe I shouldn't. Not yet, I guess. It's just less convenient for them to do that, but I want... yeah, this will be better. So it's still somewhat open. We should sprinkle fruits outside the borders of a lot of these cities. Like I can put one right here. I'm going to put one right here just to help guide the player where they should be going. We can put one right here. Again, we're trying to use that to help guide the player of where they should be going. One can go right here. We'll put... one right here, just so that way the player can see what it looks like. Next, just... the issue is forests now aren't only for blocking, but they also just give more population. So I have to be careful about how many forests I use. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have to for this mission, but if I give them too many forests, then they get too many giants and then they just walk onto the capital. Is that a bad thing? You know what we're gonna do? No, I can't. I was about to say, I'm gonna give him a whole bunch. Nope, I can't do that. We're just gonna remove these berries here and here. That way, Hoodrick is less likely to pick up a Dead technology. Well, I'm not seeing too much else I could do. I think this mission is, for the most part, solved. Let me do one final count on how large each of these cities can get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Road connection 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13. Depending on if I do border growth here or just right over here. 14, potentially 15. So this city can get a giant without doing a border growth. If we do border growth, we can get some other nice things. We're gonna do one last playtest of this mission. Alright, creative. Sabazi. We're actually play on normal this time. Custom. Sabazi tutorial. Let's see if that'll be good enough this time. I'm switching over to Shalon's music that he made for the lo-fi. Grab fishing. 1, 2. Explore. This sucks! Why would I ever explore? Resources. We're gonna grab climbing. I see a village over there I want to get to. In fact, we're going to explore in the opposite direction. One, two. Get ourselves a workshop. We'll pass this turn. Workshop. I don't need anything else. What if I put a ruin here? Or better yet, just a ruin here? Just for a veteran rammer. If I grab organization, I can fruit. Resources. Fruit. Resources. Fish, fruit, and port. Resources. Still not seeing Hudrig at all. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get construction with this. I wonder if I could, I wonder if there's a way I can... Because I want to make videos of this. I don't want to have to be spending, like, hours trying to get every single one of these ruins to give exactly what I want. Alright, fish. Port. We're gonna do another explore. No, don't go that way. That's the wrong way. Just gonna grab roads, pass the turn. Road, 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 road. Woohoo! Found Hoodrick. Oops. I didn't mean to move him there. We're gonna go ahead and pick up sailing. Woohoo! We got sailing! Windmills. Farm. Metropolis is complete. Woohoo! Network monuments is complete. Road, road. Hee-haw! Just wow. What am I supposed to do? The AI just doesn't build anything. Burn forest. Farm. Farm. Fruit. Super unit. Go here. Port. I can build some road. Oh, no, I cannot. What is this? Fish. Port. Explore. So how would they end up doing? I'll get another explore. Whew. Explore monuments is complete. Fish. Fish. I mean... This is one of those cases where in order to do the proper playtest, I'm gonna have to restart this mission a few dozen times. Bridge, road, road. Road, road, bridge. Water. Woohoo! Killer monument's complete. Get ourselves another road. Another road. We're just gonna take this. We're going to take that. Bop it a bop. Bring it on back. Bop. I didn't even finish leveling everything up. I didn't even get all these secrets over here. Hudrick needs, like, a lot more archers. In order to even make this remotely any good. Because there's no reason I should have been the first one to this city over here. It's all straightforward. Just... How hard is this mission actually on, like, crazy difficulty? Port. Lighter, because we technically don't have access to defenders. Yeah. So, map's a little complicated. It gives us access to farming, plenty of it, and construction that you get to play around with. You can burn this forest and build everything on up. Makes good use of the tech tree. This is starting to be like a more fully fledged Polytopia map. The current downside is, I mean, the AI did absolutely nothing this game. All of these are gonna be taking a long time for me to actually get videos for when I go to actually make them. But we were successful in all of our goals. Now this map actually took 3 hours to make because we had to consider a lot. Again, the biggest downside is the fact that Hudrick is not expanding fast enough. So it'd be great to see a game, an example, where Hudrick actually does get to fully expand. Because there's no reason that this city should only be level 4. Like, Hoodrick, just like the first test game we did, should have giants. How many of them? Yes. Give them a couple of weaker cities. Maybe... Issue is I want them to be weaker. But the biggest problem is I'm counting on the fact that they're going to be getting catapults. Which also has not happened. I'm just contemplating on the next one. The next map, we're going to be playing as Hoodrick with... Go ahead and add back over to here. I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of these, because I do feel like we are giving the player the options of every single tech of why they should be picking up Org, why they should be picking up Hunting, so on and so forth. They're able to build a very strong early game economy. But our next tribe we are going to be picking up is Hoodrick, which is going to lead to Quetzali. But I think it's time for us to start having the player fight against Venger. As Venger, you know, they get swordsmen. But the moment we bring in Quetzali, we can have Quetzali be all like, yo, I've got a problem I'm dealing with. Set it up so that way, while the player could technically kill Quetzali, but they would have to go, like, really far out of their way in order to do so. But the main goal would be, you know, take out Venger, you get Quetzali, hopefully Quetzali sends a peace treaty and embassy, so that way the player gets to sort of experiment with getting extra income from having allies. So that way they can get a little taste of the diplomacy tech tree. But for the most part, we're going to be teaching them about archery, about forestry, and mathematics are going to be the 3 new techs. So they're going to be getting 3 new technologies this on this upcoming one. Yeah. I'll have to make sure to set everything up so the player gets maximum peace potential with Quetzali. I know how I'm going to do it. It's just going to take a little bit of map manipulation of getting everything set up. Have the player step onto a mountain. They'll be able to find Quetzali then. And by stepping onto that mountain, they would be in Quetzali's starting vision, and then Quetzali could start off with a peace treaty and all that sorts of stuff. But we can absolutely make it to where we can maximize the potential peace with Quetzali. Quetzali's only going to have 1 city. They're not going to be able to expand at all whatsoever. So, means like also getting to Quetzali is going to be a massive pain. Like the goal is you're not taking out Quetzali. You technically could with catapults and say, look, I'm just going to kill my ally. Sure thing. you could... I can let the player do that. But the biggest goal and objective is absolutely going to be just piece up with Quetzali and then focus on taking out Venger. where the final thing is definitely going to be multiple tribes fighting against a very much stronger Venger player. Yeah, pretty much. All right. It's been 3 hours. I'm pretty satisfied with how the map came out. As a reminder, all of these are, you know, this is me, just somebody that enjoys the Polytopia game, that wants to see Polytopia be successful. This is just examples of what I would be doing in order to create a campaign / tutorial for players to slowly teach them things one at a time, to get them into the Polytopia game in a much more controlled fashion. And then we also give the players some nice goodies, like all the way over here. They get construction through this, they get sailing through this, they get veteran rammers all the way out here, followed by just veteran swordsmen, just so that way they get some really strong units. If for some reason they need it, I don't think they would. You never know. And yeah. Oh yeah, I was considering putting a ruin here. That would basically require doing a border growth and then getting a port and then a ruin for this. Yeah, why not? But also it gives Hoodrick the potential of claiming that ruin and having their own veteran rammer. It's not a bad idea. I think that's just about gonna do it. That's I was just contemplating putting like a little bit of land right here. And I'm like, well, then you could build a bridge, So I would have to get rid of this mountain right here. No. I need this mountain so that way Hoodrick has just even more ways to deal with this. And I want to make sure that we can't put a port here. I mean, I could also cheat and just put an ocean so they couldn't put a port there. I don't think that's good. These cities over here give the player just other ways to be able to level everything up. Because they technically, especially once they pick up the construction here, they have everything they need with just picking up the hunting technology to level all these cities up in a very efficient manner. Nope. Get rid of these ruins. Like, what would happen if you gave the AI a ton of ruins at their capital? Right? Like, that's not a bad idea, right? There's no way this could possibly go wrong. I could definitely do something like this. That way they get a little bit. Because I do want this to level up as well. I don't want this to really have anything. Yeah. It'll be fine. That will probably do a lot better than what we were just dealing with. Alrighty, so this is the Zabazia tutorial. We, again, are teaching them a new mechanic, giving them something to really go, oh, wow, that's, like, really good. Of course, they could mess up and put it, like, here or here. But if they end up placing their windmill into these central locations, they'll see that, like, that's going to get really big, and these cities are going to get really, really big. So, you know, neurons should be activating thanks to Unga Bunga Big Number. We're letting them use writing, but we're also making sure that they're having to make sure they've got other ways to use it. They have to build a bridge here with a whole bunch of roads, and then they get completely cut off here. So they can just do a road and bridge push over here. We did show that it was possible for that to happen. But it's not that good. What would happen if you gave the AI access to like a whole wall of cities and the back line? Would that allow them to spam out a whole bunch of units? 'Cause I do want to have like one final big epic fight against the AI and give them plenty of time to build up. Right? Like, I'm talking. I'm just thinking for the future. Like, you want to make somebody scary? No, just. Right? You could absolutely do something like this. How does this work? Creative. Venger. Infinity. Custom. Oh no. I forgot to save it. Dang it. Just what if? Just what if? Right? There's no way this could go wrong? Set capital for player 2. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put IMO here. Give myself a city just right here. What could possibly go wrong? Alright. Test has been saved. Creative. I'm just gonna grab IMO, enable. We're gonna disable you. We're gonna disable you. What happens if we we're gonna go ahead and pick up meditation. Grab spiritualism. Woohoo! Altar of Peace. Workshop. What's their score at? Oh, it's only at 3,475 on turn 8. I was expecting way worse. Grow Forest. Game's lagging a bit. What's their score at? 8,000! Oh no. Wait, what's past the... Oh gosh, they have a giant. It's fine. It's fine. Order growth. See, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Oh gosh. That's a lot of giants. Oh hey, that's a knight. Oh hey, they have a cloak. Huh. I don't think that works very well. Huh, final boss? I want to... choose the map on test. I absolutely just want forests, wild animals. There we go. Hey, we can put a forest on our capital. Cool. Save. Creative. IMO! Alright, I just want to see how it goes. Custom on test. That didn't work. Test. Two. One. Two. Alright, get rid of the capitals. Remove the resources. City. Boom. Separate capital for player 1. So why are you telling me it's already set? I'm aware it's already set. I want you to move it. Number 2. Alrighty, there's no way this could possibly go wrong, right? New game, creative. Test on easy AI. Right? Oh, they already have vision of it. That's true, they're gonna get vision of the entire map, like, insanely fast. Two, three, 4. Border growth. Alright, forestry. We can absolutely clear this forest out and then do nothing else with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Uh-oh, that's a border growth. Metropolis is complete. Clear the forest, Park of Fortune. Meditation. Two, 3. Minor misplay. They're just sitting there menacingly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're refusing to attack because of the mind bender. That's hilarious. One, 2, 3. See, they could actually move forward and secure a kill with that, but they're not. Math. Lumber halts. Alright, we'll just keep moving forward. 2, 3, 4. Cloak. They don't want to attack. Hunt. Super unit. gonna go ahead and go straight for trade. But I am 2 stars short. It's fine. I've got more than enough. Cloak. Lumber hots. Lumber hots. Lumber hots. Lumber hots. Hang on, heal. Ha! Alright, I need climbing. Okay, so they have the extra cities. Oh, I should have gotten another cloak. Oh well. Yoink. Woohoo! 1 star! That's true. It can absolutely... Ah! Cloak. We're gonna go ahead and burn, farm, windmill. I don't think this works the way I think it works. They have a cloak. Farm. Get this leveled up even further. Okay, so they do have this city. It technically exists, but it doesn't have its own territory? Interesting. Alrighty, new test. Does anyone know the physical max number of giants that can be printed from a single city? Technically infinite. Because of the existence of Illyrion. Does this work the way I think it does? That's the wrong one. Oh, I forgot to save it. We're just gonna load test. Right, creative, custom, on test. Lamination there, right? They all already start off. By the way, first off, this is cursed, but, this is completely unlegible. You start off with 10 stars a turn? And of course, I can produce from every single one of these. Wait, they're now all magically gonna connect? I love how this kind of just breaks things. It's like a chain reaction fiber. Just think about this if I'm trying to make a really strong enemy, right? How's it going, Cobalt? I'm finding a stopping point, but I was just experimenting. Try this again. It's pretty good. How are you doing? I'm doing alright. I'm finding a stopping place, but I'm just experimenting with what is possible. So, unfortunately, like, this is completely unlegible. But I think the moment that I do an update on the map by uncovering clouds, because it goes, okay, when you uncover clouds, it's going to check, are there any new road networks that you could do? I could make a very powerful Venger. I'm confused how the fog reveal connects any of the roads behind the unit. Well, so at the start of the game, it doesn't instantly check for. We're basically learning stuff about the how the game function, how the engine works, because it's not going to check to see, hey, do I need to set capital for player 2? Mountains. Yes, I like the lighthouse in the mountain. Yeah, it looks nice. That's technically not possible though, right? So what I can actually do is I can just do that, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I did save, right? I hope I did. Domination. That game would have been totally ruined. Oh, but the techs are so expensive. I don't think it really matters about how expensive the techs are. Three, 4, 5, 6. Park. Can you dedicate starting tech in a mod or just stars? Dictate starting tech in mod or just start. You actually can't do either. Or actually, so are you talking about like making a new tribe and then? Because absolutely, you have full control over, well, not full. If you know what you're doing, and I don't, but if you know what you're doing, you can absolutely... I need roads. Just so I can get out of here. They have a monument. Isn't it beautiful? Oh no. Climbing. Yes! Little cities inside another city. Border is just throwing me... Right? Especially... the issue is it looks, unplayable. Because it kind of is. But, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I can give the AI access to so much more unit production. Oh gosh! No! They killed my... No! They killed my, mind bender. It's the worst thing they could have done. No! Alright. I think I have enough riders, right? Sorta. No! I don't think this is playable. Yes! We can kill them all, one at a time. You could try Mindbender Chain? I could try a Mindbender Chain. Because all these extra cities have 2 additional units. This is so dumb. It's so dumb, I love it. But also, like... How could I... There's definitely gonna be a way that I can do this to give the AI a very powerful, like, mega city. And then have them be able to run over the other players. So that way you go, oh shoot, another player died. Oh shoot, another player died. I won several games against Finger with Mindbender Chains, and the opponent doesn't train archers. That's true. You'll probably get away with that. Let's just move these Mindbenders forward, shall we? I would love the idea of these little pocket cities, where if for some reason there's a city inside the border of another larger city, the number of pops only show up when you select the city, because this is a massive eyesore and you can't understand a single thing of what's going on. Bop-a-da-bop. That dies. We just have expendable riders everywhere. Woo! Killed one! Alright, another Mindbender. Also, a single knight absolutely destroys everything here that we own and love. Ah, no! Hey, look, it's a knight. I don't think I can get to that knight. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's no way this goes poorly, right? Uh-oh. Capital's under siege. It moves off the capital? I'm done. Alrighty. But, the option is there. First off, Nijiwan, the AI should never move off the city to unsiege. That's just stupid. There's zero reason for that to happen. If it's on the capital, capture the capital just in the game. No player wants a pity win. Alrighty. Well, I had fun. We made our Zabazi map. So that's map number 7. It took 3 hours to make, and then we just spent another 45 minutes just messing around with stuff to see what's possible, and yeah, it turns out there's a couple things that break. And Mijiwan's not going to fix those things, though, but it gives me an idea for a map to make an AI very powerful and just give him where he could just spam out units. For like, hey, this is the big baddie. It's Venger. Be scared. Or better yet, it's Shimanti, right? Like, what better way to instill fear into players about Shimanti than to see a final map where they're just spamming out 9 units a turn at their capital? Yeah. Actually, powerful bots would be actually powerful bots. There's just some things that need a change. Anywho, that's gonna go ahead and do it for today. What? Could not open Primal Calling theme as we can't get to your storage right now. What do you mean you can't get to my storage right now? Oh, I'm sorry, but we really wanted to make sure to push network. We're sorry. We made it to where you can't access your own music on your own computer that you purchased and own. Right, where is it? Hold on. Musics? Is it here? Stellaris. Okay. That's right here. It's which one is it? Nemesis? I don't think it's Nemesis. Not Federations. Let me go properties. Hold on. Now I'm going to check this out because now I'm ticked. Come on, computer. Why are you dumb? All right. Browse to where these are. Soundtrack MP3. Nope, that's the entire one. Oh, DLC. Oh, shoot. Which one is it? Oh, are there new DLCs for Biogenesis? Nope, just voiceovers. Hold on. Astral Planes? No. There was nothing for there. Nemesis. Is there... Yeah, so there's some in there. Wow, which one was it? It was really, really good. Properties. Primal Calling theme. Hold on. So now I'm a little ticked. Like, okay, this PC, Windows. There, we're going to be going to... Program files, Steam apps, music, Stellaris. Okay, here's all the DLC. Apocalypse, Federations, Nemesis. Overlord was pretty good, but that's not the one I'm looking for. The Grand Archive. Biogenesis had new ones? What? Hold on. What's Evolution? Oh, what's this one? Stellaris is beautiful. But Primal Calling, which one is that one again? It's not Overlord. Not Leviathans. Apocalypse? No, not Apocalypse, because Apocalypse is when I bought my car. That's why my car's name is Paka. There it is, the Grand Archive. Yeah. Why? Why, computer? Why are you having issues with this? Probably you should wear a green shirt one day. I have a couple of times, just to be a floating head. It's okay. I have a yellow shirt that makes me completely invisible just because the green reflects onto it and then makes me blend in. Alright, there we go. Now I got to the music that I wanted to play. This is Primal Calling theme from Stellaris from the Grand Archive DLC. I actually am planning on playing Stellaris again soon because 4.3 came out and it rebalances everything. And yeah. Don't know when I'm going to play it though. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. I'm starving. I'm hoping my wife already ate because it is really late. Take care of everybody. relax, and have a good one.